You got Dante, the overpowered troll. When it comes to the Devil May Cry hierarchy, he's at the top of the food chain, but there's other beings at the top of the food chain as well. Oh, you know, beings like Virgil, who are also at the top of the food chain. People still debate to this day who's mightier, Virgil or Dante. It's basically like this. If you have respect for Dante, you have to have respect for Virgil. Just like Dante, he's superhuman even in his base form, but he does have his own Super Saiyan transformations, or one could say Devil Trigger modes, forms that he transforms into that increase his already godlike stats even further. I mean, everybody in the family has their busted forms, including his very own son, yes.
Dante said that guy's my father. What the hell's going on, Trish?
Virgil is one of those characters that has always been a part of the Devil May Cry lore, but he's went through quite a bit of evolution and power progression, just like how Dante's gotten stronger as time went by too. He's been Virgil, he's been Nilo Angelo in the older games. He became this being known as Urizen when his man got separated from Devil, because back in these days, this is what happened right here, right? He has this blade that can slice through literal dimensions. He used this sword on himself. The power of this sword literally separated same entity into two different halves, V and Urizen, man and monster. Because of that overpowered sword you're going to see me go over later on in this video. That's how all of this BS and this monster crap got born and stuff when he separated man from devil. But you know how this stuff goes. He eventually got reunited with himself and became stronger than ever after all of these events to become the true Virgil. But how strong are we talking? Just for the simple fact all these beings have similar blood, are in the same family, it kind of makes you, whatever they can do, it kind of gives you an idea of what Virgil can do. You see what I mean? For example, if his own son is strong enough to kick parts of cars away, can physically match demons that are way bigger than himself, showing that his superhuman strength doesn't matter by his size. Gigantic statues, his son can do that too. Despite it being bigger than buildings, swing around giant toad demons that have to weigh over hundreds of tons, or hits beings in the air and punch them like that. So this gives you an idea of how strong Virgil is, right? Off gate. Despite Nero being this strong, Virgil near death can rip Nero's arm off so he can get his Yamato back. Keep in mind, this is Virgil extremely heavily suppressed, and he's able to do this despite what I just showed you what Nero can do with his arm. I mean, there's obviously a physical power hierarchy. Yeah, by the way, there's actual novels of Devil May Cry. There's a book called Devil May Cry 5 Before the Nightmare. Even in this book, they just straight up keep it straightforward. Talk about Dante, you know, this should apply for Virgil as well, about how he has unbelievable strength. And for those saying when a character is mentioned being strong, that can mean anything. That's probably what you're thinking, right? Well, they're strong in a lot of different ways, but when they're talking about strength in Devil May Cry, they're actually talking about physical attributes as well. They're like superhuman. Like this sword of Sparta, for example. This is technically Virgil when he's depowered, but if these swords and stuff weigh a lot more than you think, this is like a struggle. More proof that they're talking about actual physical muscle strength is when you see Dante, somebody equal to Virgil in strength, they just lift this same sort of with ease. Anyway, in this book, when it comes to military forces, it's pretty much confirmed that even when it comes to lower tier demons that are nowhere near Virgil and Dante's level, modern weapons, not a single one of the modern weapons could kill a little minion demon, for example. So that means rocket launchers, pistols, and guns, for example. The Devil May Cry world seems to have similar military stuff like our real world, like, you know, AK-47, rocket launchers, you know, the standard military stuff. These little baby demons, they couldn't apparently kill. Or if they did, they took extreme casualties. If we were to take what they're saying as true, that would mean off gate, even lower tiers could withstand stuff like rocket launchers or stuff like that. If we were to take that assumption correct, that building leveling stuff wouldn't be enough for even baby demons. Stuff that Nero and them can destroy, same with Virgil and stuff. So when it comes to his punching power, slicing power with his blade, off gate, since he can damage stuff that apparently rocket launchers can't, or kill things apparently rocket launchers can't kill for good. This is like low end, but this is expected. They can cut buildings in half right down the middle. Somebody this strong being able to cut a building down the middle seems reasonable. When you see how long this video goes on, you see craziness. Back in these days, they made Dante and Virgil look like twins, and he was able to do this to Dante in a fight. Even while young, him and Dante always matching and clashing swords with one another to show their strength isn't far off in their base state. You can see it. It's just clear as day, writer intent. One can say this is a skill and power feat, but it's strong enough to do this to Dante himself and actually get the W on him in this particular occasion. I can't really think of an era where Dante and Virgil wasn't comparable in power, because even during his Nilo Angelo days, it's confirmed that even then he was an equal match for Dante during this time period. Of course, Dante's gotten stronger since then as well, but so has Virgil. Notice these big pillars like this. Them big pillars, he can just fly through with his raw strength. The best showings of his strength is when he be clashing with Dante himself. It's occasions like this you see Dante and his arms are literally clashing with one another to show his strength, and then parrying afterwards. Another clash like this, You got occasions like this when they're dueling with one another. He knocks Dante back that far in the middle of their clash to show how his strength is comparable to Dante's. Then you got occasions like this of him straight up overpowering Dante when Dante was kind of tired and weakened. Virgil kind of had Dante reeling, pushing him back where he was kind of chilling right here. Them clashing muscles again, considering that Dante can support the weight of thousands of tons like statues like this, for example. Virgil can do similar things if Dante can do this. You know what I'm saying? Because he's literally clashed muscle with the Dante that is way stronger than this version of Dante that's doing this. So Virgil can do that also, if he was put in that scenario. But he never was put in that same exact scenario. You see what I'm saying? Their lore is too closely connected. They literally straight up say it. The same face, the same power. You know, they used to animate them as twins back in the day. They said Sparta's power divided into two. They even stated here, we are twins, the same face, the same power, the same blood. We're supposed to be born the same. Sparta himself's blood flows through them. You know, Sparta, the top tier that fought the almighty Mundus. More importantly, his soul is within him. There is even a point where Virgil was actually astronomically above Dante in the new game until Dante, you know, merged with the Sparta and the rebellion and stuff. And that's when Dante got the new form, his Sin Devil Trigger mode. But yeah, there was a point before this mode. He technically handled Trish, Lady, and Dante just chilling in his chair. Yeah, they was asleep. This is technically not Virgil's mightiest form we're going to see him get. Strong beings like Nero are not ready for him like this. As you can see, yeah, handling everybody. As you can see, Dante gets serious, powered up like this. You see, he doesn't even have to touch him to overpower him with some telekinetic type stuff. In this occasion, effortlessly hit this sword, broke the sword, made him de-transform back to his base. He messed him up so bad. Even they was confused. Dante lost? That doesn't ever happen. This dude knocked him out for the definition of comatose. Means knocked out. He was knocked out for a long time. He was knocked out for a month. The best way to get an understanding of his strength is to remember how strong Virgil was in the past when he was known as Nilo Angelo. Why am I bringing this up? Because current Virgil is stronger than he's ever been. And in the past, the Nilo Angelo personification of himself had aspects of himself that was crazy mighty. Yes, Virgil is very complex. All of these beings like entities like Griffin, etc., even this entity known as Nightmare was a part of the same being known as Virgil. Why is this impressive? Because mere aspects like Nightmare.
Hey guys, where you been? I thought you went back into Virgil.
We were spawned from Virgil's abominable thoughts. Well, we're merely the discarded thoughts from when he was Nilo Angelo. No longer bound in his consciousness. And kill you we shall, Dante.
When these aspects of Virgil from the past was trying to battle Dante, Dante straight up saying they know they don't stand a chance, letting you know that Dante's above these entities and so is Virgil, because this used to be part of Nilo Angelo. I like how they're treating something that doesn't stand a chance or is like considered fodder when this entity known as Nightmare, via translations that suggest beings like Nightmare could destroy the entire demon dimension or world, technically universe. That's how much of a beast he is. This entity worked for Mundus and stuff. Even in rough translations of stuff like this, it's implied nightmarish beings that are not even at the top of the food chain that was inside of Virgil at one point can actually lift the entire structure of the underworld or universe itself with raw strength. Even if you want to assume these two different nightmares are two different power levels, it doesn't really matter. Even if we just completely ignore the nightmare feat, we've already seen somebody that Virgil always rivals battle a nightmare in the past as well, so it shouldn't really debunk much. Dante and Virgil are legit rivals. If beings like Dante can get in fist fights with nightmare beings, it's a good chance Virgil's was in that same level of power. I mean, even if he's not, we've seen Dante and we know Virgil's on his level. We've seen Dante fight Nightmare, you know what I mean, in a boss fight, in older games, when he was weaker, you know what I mean? I want you guys to think about that for a second. Beings that are aspects of Virgil have the strength to bear the weight of the universe on their back if they want to, and they're weaker than Virgil and just mere aspects of something he used to be that's a lot weaker than he is now. Imagine how hard Virgil can currently punch. Because, you guys, you got to remember, this is the past. Virgil currently is way above what that used to be. And we're not even going to talk about his Sin Devil Trigger Super Saiyan 2 state. I wouldn't want to see what these punches feel like. It would shake the cosmos. And if you think Nightmare is scary, Mundus is a legendary demon entity that Sparta had defeated in the past, aka Dante's father. Nightmare-ish beings are the ones that are chained up by this being known as Mundus himself, the guy at the top of the food chain. Mundus was described as a being's power that was too great. He had to be like in a statue-like looking form. Mundus is a legendary being in the Devil May Cry lore. He slew the former god of evil, aka the god of the underworld, and overthrew it and became the new ruler of the underworld. That's when you guys know the classic tale. Dante's dad took him out, sealed him away for 2,000 years. Another good way to get some implications of how strong these entities are is that these Hell Lord top tier beings like Mundus, for example, can fuse both demonic and human realms, aka universes, together. And another reason on why Virgil is so strong, because one of the reasons why Mundus was strong is because of this special Clyphod fruit.
Human blood is the source of demons' power. The fruit born through the Clyphod is even more dense than the blood that created it. Its power is unparalleled. Even the almighty Mundus used it to become king of the underworld.
If by some weird reason you still don't believe characters like Dante or Virgil up there with the big dogs like Mundus and stuff, this same fruit that's overpowered like this, Virgil in this monstrous form, yeah, I know, yeah, he looks crazy, actually ate this ridiculously overpowered fruit that powers up beings more than beyond belief, proving that they should be at least as strong as Mundus or even higher. Literally chomps it. If we're talking about speed, Virgil has retarded speed. You can see the way he moves in cutscenes like a blur. I want you guys to get an understanding of how fast this guy actually is. When they say he moves like a blur, they mean he moves like a literal blur. All these attacks slash you before you even know you got slashed. This attack known as this Judgment Cut, he just slashed you really fast. It looks like he didn't even hit you. I find it funny that it's actually in the narrative about how they talk about how fast this move is, being in multiple places at once, they say, because of speed. Hit you so fast you come closer to him, with tremendous speed, cleaving the air itself and drawing the enemies towards you. If he's this fast, of course rocket launchers he can react to. The same goes for bullets. If he's this fast, of course bullets are light work when it comes to his speed, and this occasion with Dante. So you know these weaker demons don't stand a chance. Gunfire, let's see what you got. He can cut all this gunfire up into individual pieces. Raw speed. Cuts entities apart so fast they don't even know they're cut apart with his speed. It's just standard bullcrap at this point. You can get an idea of his strength and speed put together on occasions like this when all these demons try to pull up on him like they're going to do something to him. He quite literally doesn't get touched once and just slides through them that fast before they even knew they got cut. Strength and speed and everything put together with sword play. And when they thought they was going to be able to gang up on him again, he said, nah, y'all thought y'all was about to do that. Most of the time he's too fast and the demons don't even know they got cut. They're already cut up. Mad speed. Like in this occasion, he got already cut. All of these demons try to blitz him at the same time. Strength and speed, he's too much for all of them. Speed, strength, and swordplay, right? In gameplay, they even imply that he has ridiculous speed on how he warps around the field. They talk about during his Nilo Angelo days, he increases his speed. He can constantly match the fighting speed of Dante himself. So whatever Dante can do in speed, he should be similar in speed. Demons, for example, that can move as fast as lightning or faster than the eye can see, Dante trolls this type of stuff. You see, like, yeah, doesn't look worried. Man, if this ain't clear evidence that they're comparable in speed in the latest game, when they was having a sword slugfest basically, stuff like this that's considered laser beams, Dante has kept up with in speed or dodge. Just watch this video in conjunction with my Dante video. I kind of cover all this stuff in that. He's definitely a character that likes to use a blade, but he uses other weapons like stuff that will box you up, kick you up, and etc. On top of this, he mixes in his Super Saiyan transformations with other special abilities other than physical strength and speed, like energy projection, like his famous Beowulf weapons, for example, you see in cutscenes, that he can hit beings that hard or kick them. He can literally create energy clones of himself to fight and mimic his every move to fight. He can summon floating swords around himself. Like, it's kind of like defense because it's all the way around him. He can attack while doing this, while it's also protecting him and slashing you at the same time. Dante, Virgil, either of them are always fighting intangible type entities that they can hit too. So they've always had habits of battling intangible beings because they can disrupt with energy charged gunfire and stuff like that. Their attacks can hit. Like beings like this are not solid all the times, but they can still hit them. Did you know Virgil could lift or shake the cosmos with his strength? You probably didn't. Or you probably didn't know that about Dante either. But respect them. But before I get going, thanks for the donations, everybody. Helps out a lot. Respect Virgil. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.